Hello there. Welcome to Holocron Chronicles. This is episode 32. My name's Mark, aka Geek Nerdian, and I'm joined as always by my trusty co-pilot, Charlie Carden. Charlie, how you doing tonight?
Joined by me, I'm always there. Purple Rain. That's becoming my thing. I like doing that when doves cry. I'm doing good. It's not Monday, which is a big thumbs up. I'm at home, which is a big thumbs up because my job, I travel, so I'm home, but I'm gone for the next 3 days, and then I'm home again. So in between that, and then I'll be podcasting again. So yes, my life is home, work, road, podcast, and it works for me.
That's great, excellent. We are joined. I think this is our first double feature guest lineup. I'm super excited. We have one returning guest and one new guest. We've got Bella and Jake. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm great. Doing good.
Awesome.
We just got back from California, and we are feeling good.
Good deal.
Excellent. Excellent. In California, Disneyland, Galaxy's Edge.
Yep, Frankensons, which, if you don't know, is like a Costco-size comic book shop, basically a spot meet.
It is the best store in the entire world.
Yeah. So if you ever go to Disneyland, you got to go to Frankensons.
Yep.
Gotcha. Awesome.
Fantastic. So sounds like
I've got a
good geeky trip.
Make that pilgrimage. Yeah. Now, Mark, you've been down to Florida. You guys just came back from California. So, which is the better Galaxy Edge? Are they the same? Is it different in some small ways?
Almost identical. There are very few changes between Florida and California. I think California has some umbrellas, like to shade people from the sun. And maybe there's a couple of things like swapped on the map, like location wise, but aside from that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I know there's a little Easter egg on the Falcon
in Florida.
Yeah. That's not in California.
Is that the mini Falcon?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, I saw that.
Cool.
Fascinating.
That was like one of the things I asked for. I was like, "Where's the little Falcon?" And they're like, "That's in Florida."
Like, oh man!
I flew all this way here to see the Falcon.
The baby Falcon.
What was your favorite part of Galaxy's Edge?
This time specifically, because we've been a few times before, but we've never been able to get into the cantina. So this time we got there right when it opened, got on the wait list, and we got in, and it was so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, we're not used to drinking at 8 a.m., but still fun.
It was awesome. And the fireworks, too. We stayed for the fireworks for the first time, and that was really great.
Nice.
I would say those two things were the highlights.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. So, Bella, you've been on the show before, but for people who might forget, can you remind people what you do on the internet and where people can find you?
Yes. So, since the last time I was on, I've found a love for cosplaying. So now I consider myself a cosplayer.
Excellent.
And I do it on my TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. All my handles are It's Bella X Rose. But yeah, I've started cosplaying, and it has been like the highlight for me. Every single day I do some sort of different cosplay, whether it's Star Wars, Marvel, DC, like anything. That's my new thing that I'm obsessed with.
Awesome. I love how you mix it up. Like, you never know if it's going to be like Star Wars, like you said, just Star Wars, different comic characters. You never quite know which one. Like a lot of cosplayers, it's like they have one or two, they kind of stick with it. It's that kind of thing. And it's, what's this character up to today, or what variation of that. And they'll do, their photo shoot for the week or whatever it is. And you're just, it's like, it seems like you wake up and it's like, what am I going to do today? And it's fun, right?
Yeah, pretty much. At first I was like, what is going to be my one thing? Because I thought, I'd find one thing and stick with it. And I don't think I will ever just have one thing because it's so fun. Just every character I can think of. Like today I ordered like 3 new ones. I'm like, I just want to keep going. I want to do everyone.
At my highlight night, I have a closet full. My wife and I were part of a group for a long time that we kind of fell out of. So we don't really have anywhere to go. And now, as I was telling you guys, we run the Star Trek fan club, and when we do events, because we do anywhere between like 7 and 10 events a year that we have a booth and we're recruiting people and stuff. So we're usually in uniform for that. So I just added my 18th Starfleet uniform that I'm going to break out at a show in Indiana in a couple of weeks.
Cool.
But I still have a closet full of Captain America, Spider-Man. I have a Superman. I have a couple of Green Lantern. I have a Luke. I have a Han. I have an original Star Wars character. So just don't have anywhere to wear them. So, and I used to just throw one on, and April, my wife, would take a picture of me behind the garage or something. But kind of tough to do in the wintertime to trunch out there. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not quite cosplay, but I did just receive this in the mail today. This is
nice.
my new Level Up lightsaber.
Nice.
So my affiliate link and check out leveluplightsabers.com. This is their power up model, and it's great. It has like the flicker effect on the
Heck
blade.
yeah.
Love that.
wow.
Changes through all the colors and cycles through everything. There's different sound fonts. It's really cool, and I like that. For anyone not watching the video, this is going to be a little boring, but like it's so much thinner than my Galaxy's Edge one, which means
Yeah.
it's going to be like so much more maneuverable. And I was already just kind of doing like some spins and stuff, but same thing as Charlie just said. Like it's my house isn't really like lightsaber spinning friendly as far as like,
I don't think any house is.
Right. Yeah, gotta take that outside. So
once it heats up, maybe I'll go out more. But right now, I'm really excited to do that. Like I said, affiliate links are in the show notes and on all my pages. However, enough about me, enough about lightsabers. I want to know a little bit more about Jake. So Jake, first off, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a Alaskan. I'm a tattooer, and I own a tattoo shop as well. And I'm primarily, I would say 50% of what I do is all Star Wars tattoos. I did Bella's sleeve, if you have seen it or will see it after the show. I'm just a Star Wars obsessed tattooer, and I try and do it as much as I possibly can. And that's basically who I am and what I am. Massive Star Wars fan, and I do tattoos.
Yeah.
Woo, good deal. I love it.
So, how did you get into the Star Wars tattooing bit? Because like you just keep doing it and then like people started recognizing you and coming to it, or did you just like search out Star Wars fans that want to get tattoos in Alaska? Like how the hell did that actually kind of work?
Right. As a business model, right? Yeah, it's curious.
Niche, and it's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I don't know. I been tattooing up here for like 15 years, and my schedule is always like a year out, and I have clients who have been getting tattooed by me for a long time. So whatever I tend to like focus my tattooing in, whether it's like geometric stuff or whatever, primarily I do like sleeves. Big work is like all I do. So if I want to do stuff in color or Star Wars stuff or whatever, the clientele tends to just kind of show up for that. And there's not really a lot of Star Wars tattooers out there, and definitely not in Alaska. So for every Star Wars fan that's based here who wants to get tattooed, they're in luck, and they just kind of show up. Once I started doing them, and then I did Bella's sleeve, which was like the first. I had done a couple sleeves prior, but none that really got the attention that, not even close to the attention that Bella's sleeve got. Right. So once she did that, and then she started posting my tattoos on her TikTok, and that got me probably almost all the clientele I have locally. And then now it's just people messaging frequently trying to get tattooed, and it just kind of happened. You do one really great one, and then you do another one and another one, and before you know it, it's half of what you're doing.
That's
sweet. That's awesome.
I have to admit, like that was, I think we talked about this the first time Bella was on. Like that was one of the things that drew me to her TikTok account. Was like, I think last time I called out the Han Solo blaster tattoo, and I thought that was on you, and then you were like, no, that wasn't even me. That was like my boyfriend doing a tattoo on someone. I was like, we need to talk to this guy. It's
fun.
You do some amazing stuff.
Thank you. I love it. I want to tattoo like every character and as much as possible, and I want to do it all. So
if people want to follow your tattoos or check out your shop, where can they go?
It's Jake _ Scrivner, which is my last name. It's just SCRIV as in Victor NER. Or you can find me at Ultraviolence Tattoo, which is on Instagram. If you search Ultraviolence Tattoo, it'll pop right up.
Sweet.
Perfect. So I do also want to ask you a little bit about your Star Wars origin, not just Star Wars tattoos, but like Star Wars in general. How did you get into Star Wars? What was your first introduction?
Prequels. Okay. I actually don't think I have a memory of watching the OG trilogy growing up. I might have. I just don't remember it. But the prequels came out when I think I was 14 or 15 when they came out.
Right.
And so I saw The Phantom Menace, and that was it right there. It hooked me. And then for a long time, I saw the originals after that. And for a long time, I was just kind of a casual fan. But I've been primarily like a comic book fan for my whole life. So since as long as I can remember, I was into comics and X-Men and Avengers and Batman. And then I found out there were Star Wars comics when I was probably like 18 or so, 17, 18. And that's what really hooked me. Like the Legends comics and books are what sunk me full in. I read every single comic I can get. In fact, this closet behind us is like a lot of Star Wars comics that I've collected over the years. And from there, it just steamrolled. It was one book after another, and it has taken over my life completely, for sure.
Amazing. All right.
I hear that.
Yep.
Me too.
Love of comics. You might have to check out the regular Secret Friend show. Charlie and Todd get you over that way, talking about some more comic booky stuff.
As long as they're just not Star Wars. we needle Todd quite a bit. He is. Will deny it to himself, but he really does not like Star Wars. I think ultimately I've decided no for 25 years.
He loves to hate Star Wars. I think.
He just picks it apart. There's nothing about it that makes him happy, but he still wants to talk about it. It's a very toxic relationship. I hate to say it, a toxic relationship.
So I think I like it all. Like every all comics, all genres. Like if it's in this kind of like, I don't know, sci-fi or superhero or whatever it is, I'm probably going to like it in some way.
All right.
I hear
So I'm going to ask your favorite Star Wars movie, but I'm also going to ask maybe your favorite comic run as well, since you're such a comic book fan. I don't think we've had like such a hardcore comic aficionado on the show. So
is definitely Legends for sure. It's like Cade Skywalker. That is, I think, like that trilogy is what like really hooked me hardcore. I think it was one of the first books I really got into, and I have reread that countless times. It's Legends for sure. It's just what it's called, or
Legacy.
Legacy. Yeah, sorry.
That's right. Yeah, I think I've dabbled with that one, so I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah,
excellent. What about favorite movie?
Revenge of the Sith for sure, 100%.
Right.
I don't know. I think just growing up with them, it's just like that's it for me. It's got everything, And I don't even think there's a close second. So,
wow. Okay, I think that's 3 in a row. I think we might have had on that. Revenge of the Sith is at least in their favorites, maybe if not like their top favorite. But that's I think 3 guests in a row, which is odd to get 3 in a row for like prequels and that specific movie. So I think we're on some kind of a streak. That's quite exciting.
I feel like in 30 years, if you ask somebody, it's going to be like The Force Awakens or something.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I think we said that last time or maybe the time before, talking about like how everyone's pumped now for Hayden Christensen to return. And it's like, unlike 10 years ago, everyone hated this guy and like said he was like the worst and he was wooden and like it's just all this kind of stuff. And now it's like singing the praises, like, woohoo, he's back. Oh, right. And Anakin back together. Yay.
Oh man.
This is the best. And it's such a weird thing. So yeah, I'm sure in 15, 20 years, it'll be like, Rey Skywalker's back again. And people will be pumped.
Definitely.
Like, right.
And I love all of the movies anyway. So it's just all good for me. But like, it's so weird to see that as someone who loves it normally, like to see that, I don't know, like roller coaster of fandom or something. It's so strange.
True.
Speaking of that, characters and actors and whatnot, what is your favorite Star Wars character?
Mine is Ahsoka. Same with Bella. Yeah. So I would say Cade Skywalker is probably my second, but it's definitely Ahsoka all day, every day. I will watch anything or read anything she's in forever. So
Well, you were in hog heaven in what we're going to talk about in a minute here, but certainly
Yeah.
with what's to come, there's a long legacy of Jedi love coming up on the small screen. So with Kenobi, and then obviously with Ahsoka being what I think is what they've got scheduled to. No, Andor will be next, and then Ahsoka,
And then Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So good stuff.
Last question for your Star Wars get to know you a little bit. If you had Force powers, would you lean light side or dark side?
Light side for sure.
All right.
Yeah, I think I would definitely be fully in the light. Sidious is also like one of my favorite characters, and but yeah, even then, it's still light side.
Right.
I like that. I definitive. A lot of people say, they mostly light, but I'd lean a little bit into the dark or like in that gray area. And it's and again, last episode I mentioned that quote that I read, or the article that I read talking about George Lucas saying, like, if you start to lean into the dark side, like, it just corrupts. It's like mold. You get one moldy piece of bread, and then it's just spread right through. Right.
I don't know how much moldy bread you eat, but
stay away.
I called off for the first one.
Wrecks everything. Yeah. So it's hearing someone say just like full on light, that's refreshing. That's good.
I think I like the hero's journey and like what they stand for, and that connects with me quite a bit. So
excellent.
Awesome. Good deal.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, let's get in to, speaking of Ahsoka, let's get into a little bit of the Book of Mando Fett. Calling the last
Mando Dismal. Come on, this episode was only like 78% of Mando, giving us maybe like 82% Mando, and Boba was batting about that 18%. So you know what? It was, if you look at statistics from episode 5 to episode 6, this was clearly a win for keeping the show on brand for the name of the show.
Yeah, at least he had a cameo appearance this time.
Right.
That was kind of nice.
There you go.
So, Chapter 6, Book of Boba Fett. Overall impressions. Bella, Jake, do you guys want to go first? Your overall impressions of this episode?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I loved all of it.
It was the best episode of like anything I've ever seen. Like every little thing from start to finish. I think our mouths were open the entire time.
Yeah. And the previous episode was one of the best Star Wars episodes I'd ever seen
100%.
too. So it was I thought, how could they follow like the montage of him building his ship and everything that had happened there, and the lore we got on the Darksaber, and they followed it hard. And we weren't, we knew that when Dave was going to be directing an episode that it would be the best, and it was.
Yeah, when we found out that he was directing it, Ahsoka fans were like, please, Dave, like, we know you're going to put her in it. Like, we know you are. And when we saw her pop up, we were like, oh my God.
There she is.
Dave.
So we got a question on Twitter from Kid Sidious Abby, who's also been on the show a couple of times.
I love her.
Got to know how Bella felt seeing Ahsoka show up, and so that was it. Just the ecstatic joy.
Yes, like
it has been communicated.
Literally, like every time I see her on the screen, I just tear up. So the best.
Yeah, I think that Bella mostly does the like.
Yep. I'm like, oh my God, and he's just like, oh my God.
I will admit, I get moments of the particularly with Grogu. That's watching it with my wife. Because again, I was telling you guys in the pre-roll that my wife and I are early risers, and it's weird because tomorrow's Wednesday and there's no show. So we would get up and we would be like, all right, we'd leave the lights off in the living room and got the big TV. And so it's this big viewing experience. And it's going to be a bummer. We don't have anything Disney Plus until we get Moon Knight, which is at the end of next month.
Yeah.
True.
Again, Todd, my elder statesman friend, who is the Mr. Businessman, says, well, they're doing that to hedge subscriptions because they want to snag people back who let their subscriptions fade. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I want a show.
Next week we'll probably get the making of Book of Boba, because that's what happened for the previous two shows, and I think those are always really fun to watch. So
I can't wait for that.
Well, hopefully that'll be what is on when we turn it on. So
something to hold you over a tiny bit.
Yeah. we'll get some sort of Obi-Wan retrospective like we did with Boba Fett as well.
Right.
The look inside the helmet kind of thing.
Hopefully it won't be under their robes because that sounds kind of filthy. But
oh my god!
Especially in that hot Tatooine sun, it's like a cooked hot dog.
Jesus.
Hard pass.
Charlie, what did you think of this episode?
And again, talked about this on SFU because we're bi-weekly and we're weekly over there. So I have discussed this. It's bittersweet because it's a wonderful story. I love how they told it. I love the heart that we saw exhibited in a lot of the characters. Ahsoka's serenity, how you saw Mando's basically yearning. And it was, how the memes always proliferate after this came out. So it was one of these, boy, that Mando's a dad because when he sees a bench, he just lies down and takes a nap on a bench. So I love that. Love seeing R2. Those ant droids were fun. The ones who were building Luke's temple, and it was Easter egg haven and watching Grogu's training, and then having to have him to make the Sophie's choice at the end, and ultimately what leads us in episode 7 and the choice that he does make to either stay or go. The thing that, and again, I said this over on Secret Friends, the thing that really kills me is that they can't commit to this really being a show about Boba Fett. I mean, they gave Mando an episode and 1 8/10 of an episode that had nothing to do with Boba Fett. And so part of me says that sucks. It's very disingenuous. I really don't know why they did it that way. And the other part of me says, when you've got Filoni and you've got Favreau, you have an overarching story that simply continues through no matter what, the same way the trilogies did, and back in those times, there weren't really stories that plugged in between because we got, Clone Wars after the fact. And, there was Rebels on down the road and Solo and different things. But overall, bits and pieces of each other and building, particularly in the post-Disney acquisition, building towards a more cohesive story, and guys, I told you I was going to do this, like they do in Star Trek. Star Trek is Star Trek, you know what I mean? So it's going to be a bit in a piece here, and a character's going to show up here, and, this and that and whatever it is. So the other part of me, again, off track as always, the other part of me that was very happy was that they told a great story, but it just sucks that it has to be like, well, this is Boba Fett's show, where it just was not. And I think that part of it is kind of unfortunate. But again, I, like you guys, was grateful for a well-told story that was filled with some Easter eggs that kind of made me happy. It was great to see Luke recast, digitized so much to the point that he didn't look quite so my God, what am I like? Tarkin? What is that? What is the Uncanny Valley? Didn't feel quite so Uncanny Valley.
He looked great.
They did a good job.
I really liked that, and they did a lot of great things with him as a character, and I really like that. That he had some moments, and his interaction with Ahsoka was terrific. So much like your dad is really kind of a weird irony because Anakin didn't end up being such a great guy in the end with the child murder and the wife choking and mass murder and things of that nature. So I mean, I would love to see fireside chats between the two of them. What did she teach him? And Mark, I think I saw your notes. I don't want to steal your thunder, but I'll segue right into that and let you talk about that. But I had the same thought. What did he learn from her? She didn't live there on that planet with him. She was visiting because at the end of it, she kind of boogies and whatever it is. But how frequently did she come back? What did that? Oh, sorry, catch me. You see, Mark's a night owl, but I can't. This late night stuff is not great for me. What did
an hour or two later for me?
I know. You're harassing me like Oxford does. I just when you get up early is what happens. But of course, you have a baby, so you don't sleep. So it probably becomes academic. But yeah. What did she learn from him? How much time did they spend together? Was it a May-December romance? I have no idea. That would be kind of cool if it was. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to leave it at that.
Oh, no. There's no way.
Mark, back to you.
Just dropping the bombs and then leaving it for me. So the rubble of whatever the hell you just said. That just threw me right off. That Roman.
I saw the Star Wars theory somebody had made like a T-shirt or art for him, and it was Ahsoka Luke in love, basically. And Ahsoka Luke.
Right.
I'll be honest with you. That just literally that was very stream of consciousness for me. I had not planned a lot of this is, but yeah, I thought, why not? Why the hell not? Anyway.
Yeah,
because they're both very non-traditional characters. I mean, Ahsoka abandoned the Order. She's a Force practitioner, but she's not a Jedi per se.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and that's so that gets me into what I was going to say, and I will jump in there and say, because she's not a Jedi, I'm wondering if Ahsoka still finished some of Luke's Jedi training. Like, would she have still passed on a bit of that? We saw he got better with a lightsaber. Who was he training under? Was it Ahsoka?
I would think
obviously
yes.
changed. He's he's grown it, and this doesn't seem like the first time they've been together. This like one scene, because she's saying you're so much like your father, and will I see you again? So it kind of sets it up like she has been coming by and like giving him instruction at least, and I'm wondering, as much as I also love Ahsoka, if that may have been kind of the start of the downfall of Luke, because I'm wondering if she got in his head with some of the old ways of like, look, if you brought your father back to the Jedi, the light side, maybe it's not as bad as it was, or I thought it was when I left. So maybe there's some good and some stuff that we can still do with the council's teachings. And I wonder if that's kind of what got in Luke's head, because it was very kind of Sith-esque of making Grogu make that choice of like, choose your family or choose to be a Jedi. It was very, very stuck in the old ways, right?
It also could have...
Yeah, go ahead.
It could have been Luke also letting go of the attachment of wanting a student and feeling like he has to train Grogu because he is powerful in the Force. So it could be the complete opposite. I do think that there's a lot to learn from Ahsoka, because Ahsoka is basically the physical embodiment of the light side. She's not a Jedi, but that doesn't mean that she's not the best Jedi or what a Jedi should be.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like in teaching Luke, he can only benefit, really. I don't see like the downside. I don't know if Luke's like such a strong-minded character that I feel like pushing him in any direction, he's probably going to make up his own mind on what he feels is right or wrong. And yeah, I do think there's some lessons in there, and I'm sure that at some point we'll get backstory on that and what they've done and how she helped him, or because Luke really, I mean, he got training, but it wasn't like Ahsoka's training, that's for sure.
Right.
Yeah, definitely not.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, his was basically an extended summer camp montage that happened in about 20 minutes. So, but again, strong with the Force, strong with the Force takes care, because what the hell training did Rey get? It was kind of the same shit. She just, if you've got it, you've got it. And if you don't, you can work at it a little bit, but
not quite with Rey, because she's a dyad. She got all the training that Ben did.
That's a nice little loophole. I like that.
Yeah,
okay.
you
know what? I never considered that. Yet at the end of it, they made out and it killed him. Boy, talk about, I mean, there's any number of pop songs in there. Love stinks, love hurts. Too much love will kill you, Queen.
Grogu might end up with Luke again at some point. Grogu's life is long, and who knows, like what would happen between them down the road. And I like the idea of Grogu being with Din more than Luke for sure. Like I want to see him trained. But I also like the idea of him becoming a Force-sensitive, tiny Yoda Mandalorian. Like, that is just going to sell the most toys, and it's going to be the coolest story.
I mean, you know what? Disney knew where their bread was buttered. They're like, we'll stick him off with Luke. That shit's not going to work out. Where's the sales potential in that? No, sir.
Yeah.
The funny thing, like, obviously with the episode before, we learned that there was a Mandalorian Jedi. That's where the Darksaber came
Right.
from. So, like,
Paz
did they have
Vizsla, yeah.
such a
Yep.
bad time with him that they said you can either be a Mandalorian or you can be a Jedi. There's no in between. Like, is that, or was it just like you're way too attached to your dad? You can either go with him or you can be a Jedi. There's no in between there. So it was, for me, it was kind of like, what is this? But I am happy that he went with his dad.
Yeah, I mean, and again, Luke is, he's kind of flying without a net. There's really nobody but Ahsoka to let him know what's what, and she's not even really a Jedi. She got the boot. She was still a kid. She was still Padawan. And then when they asked her if she wanted to come back, she's like, you know what? If this is the way y'all are going to do me, then fuck you. I'm out. I'm going to go do my own thing. And she did. And she was she was Fulcrum. She was one of the founders of the rebellion. She is powerful in her own right without being a, basically robe wearing, dogma following Jedi, breaking apart the code. Luke, again, a very, non-traditional upbringing, who still found his way in the Force, and for better or for worse, still found a way to finally destroy Palpatine twice. Through his influence. So anyway,
we have tons of like dark side characters that aren't Sith as well, like Ventress and Maul. I guess you consider not a Sith. He's an acolyte, I guess you could say. But so I don't see why we can't have some official gray Jedi now, or 100%. Just people with Force abilities that aren't light or dark.
Well, I mean, a gray Jedi is such a commentary on what really life is. There's so very little as you get older in life that is so incredibly black and white. Life throws you a lot of change ups, and so life is gray. So I appreciate that more and more as a story element, where some of the finest moments, again, in Star Trek have to do with social commentary and looking at how how life really is, how the human race really is through a sci-fi lens. And a gray Jedi, I think, is probably the finest example of that in Star Wars. So I embrace that. I like it. It's very Star Trek. Very Star Trek.
Shifting away from most of this episode being about Luke, Grogu, and that choice, we also got a character from the cartoons, another character showing up in Cad Bane, facing off against a comic character, Cobb Vanth. What did you guys think about that little showdown and finally seeing Cad?
It was a lot of this
in person.
Yeah. Woo!
Yeah, we were hyped.
It was fantastic. I mean, great transition from the page to the stage, from the tune to the real life. Clearly, you had the same voice actor. I have no idea who portrayed him physically. Somebody tall and handsome, which a voice actor is not necessarily tall and handsome, so you don't know that was necessarily the case. But they really nailed it, and propelled us into episode 7. Again, that shot that Cobb Vanth took did not look fatal. But so we went from the week to the next, said, I just winged him and he's got, it happens in every Western. I just took one in the Army. He's good. Now his deputy, who's a total dipshit, by the way, got shot like 50 times and we're like, well, he's an idiot anyway. It was coming. It was a total setup. So I didn't think Cobb was fatally injured, but then we find out, obviously, that his story does go on, though I won't put the cart before the horse, so to speak, getting into talking about episode 7.
Jake, Bella, what did you guys think of those characters interacting?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I thought he looked incredible. It was spot on for what I imagined him in live action.
His entrance was exactly what we wanted it to be.
Yeah, it was iconic.
Even if it was
perfect.
impractical. Like, did you actually just walk across a full desert just to like shoot around and turn around and walk back?
Don't even care.
Yeah, I was really trying to figure out the transpo situation on Tatooine, because people do a lot of walking across what appears to be hundreds of kilometers of empty desert.
Yeah.
So what's up with that?
If it looks good, that's all that matters.
Wow. Yeah,
I did. I spent too much time with you, Mark, with your metric system. Knock it off.
Right.
Knock it off, eh?
Your beaver tail and maple syrup are in the mail.
Oh, I like it. Very good. Give me some of that. I hear that poutine doesn't travel so well, but I'm still here for it.
It gets a little soggy, but I'll make it work.
All right.
Anything else stuck out for you guys for chapter 6 before we jump into chapter 7?
No, just I mean that it was incredible. I know it was a little fan servicey, but I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Like, and
I'll
want
take
all
it.
the fan service. I feel like a lot of the times Star Wars or Lucasfilm feels like it has to hold back content. Like we can't give them this. We need the, or whatever. And I say just give it to us. Like open the floodgates. Let's see it all. I'm about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's entertainment. So why is being entertained something we should feel shame over? Because that's, oh God, it was all fan service and blah, 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 blah. Oh, the fanboys, this thing and that thing. Who gives a shit? Are we just supposed to be, this is where I argue with Todd. It doesn't have to be Shakespeare. It's Star Wars. It can just be explosions and monsters and whatever. It's friggin' if you're not entertained, go watch a Shakespeare. It's good. And I know I feel bad just railing on him because I'm doing a lot of it. And I know he'll eventually listen to this, but he knows how I feel. It doesn't have to be Shakespeare in the park. It's Star Wars. So it's going to be fan servicey. There's going to be explosions. There's going to be stuff that just doesn't really add up. But if you enjoy it and it's fun and it makes you smile and pump your fist, hasn't it really done what it's supposed to do?
Yeah, it was
I think so. I think so.
Yep.
Yeah, well, speaking about fist pumping, fun action, let's start talking about Chapter 7 because, like,
oh, mama,
the final showdown. We knew that this was going to happen. Like, we knew that this is where it was leading to. Probably could have predicted some of the things. A lot of us were hoping for a few more cameos. I think
always the fan service, which it's
I
okay.
had crazy theories about like Leia showing up at least, maybe even Han.
Yeah, there was that rumor, and then
Luke.
My friend John was like, Kira, because he loves Emilia Clarke. Oh, Kira, why can't we get, because Crimson Dawn is so pivotal in the comics right now with the Crimson
Dawn was going to show up too. Yeah. Like I thought that was going to be like the stinger, like the Pikes.
Right.
Were kind of like there, but like Crimson Dawn was kind of pulling all the strings behind. I thought that was going to be like where we saw like the Bacta tank at the end. Like I thought that was going to be like Kira just being like, all right, now we know what's going on. Like, that kind of stinger. But like, I really thought Luke was going to bring Grogu back. I thought the decision was going to be the same, but I did not expect it just to be like, R2, just take him away. Like that kind of, I expected Luke to jump out and be like, what's going on my home planet? I need to help some shit.
Luke's probably like, he's like Tatooine, fuck that. He only came back to Tatooine the one time, at least in the movies, though. In the comics, he did a bunch of times after saying that famous, well, I'm never coming back to this planet again. In the end of episode 4, it's like, yeah, right. Tatooine is, for no good reason, the center of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
I mean, because not only was it all over the place in Mandalorian, it was the setting of this show. It's the setting of Kenobi, we assume. And it was all over the place in the other trilogies as well. So Tatooine is, well, I guess not so much in the sequel trilogy, just it was the very last scene. But, and that's, again, people who hate the fan service, like Todd, are like, oh, Tatooine, or even my friend John, who is our other secret friend and big Star Wars fan. Oh, I hate Tatooine. Never want to see Tatooine again. But then we get my friend Mark, who's like, what's the connection between Tatooine and the Force? Why is it so important? I don't know. There could be something to that. I mean, it's just, it's a place.
Tatooine, like, is the core of Tatooine just a giant kyber crystal? Like,
I'm sure there'll be something about it
could be.
Point.
Yeah. By contrast, 100% of sitcoms on all of networks across all of network TV are set on Earth. So are we going to rail against that? Why can't this be set on the moon? Why can't we get a sitcom on Venus? What's going on? What's the deal? Why can't it be on the sun?
Right. That'd be a hot one.
Oh!
Jeez.
Yes!
So what? Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. As like I said, it could have been a little predictable, but I just thought like top to bottom, it was just go, action. Mm-hmm. Let's have we got the Boba riding a Rancor. We got Boba and Din doing the like choreographed shooting,
right? The back-to-back like
stuff.
Sabretooth and Wolverine and the Wolverine Origins movie back-to-back.
Fantastic.
Pew pew pew.
What did you guys think? Jake, Bella, you guys want to chime in on Chapter 7 overall?
I kind of felt the opposite. I'm pretty sure Bella felt the same way. We both felt kind of deflated after the episode ended. I feel like that is the fault of like Robert Rodriguez. Aside from episode 2, which I thought was incredible, anytime that we're watching a Robert Rodriguez episode, we're kind of just let down. We're like, it just doesn't quite hit the way the rest of the episodes did. And there was a lot of stuff in the episode that I loved. You know, like the Rancor scene was great. Seeing Mando and Boba fight was great.
The Mando and Boba fight, the choreograph, like you said, was probably my favorite part of the whole episode.
Yeah.
Like, it was so awesome.
Boba's
we were like,
knee,
finally!
double shot, the shot from the knee, the 2 blaster, like take 4 guys out in like half a second. It was so good. But to that point, like, and I think that was, I don't even think maybe like a specifically Rodriguez problem. Like, that was kind of the overarching problem with Book of Boba Fett. Like, it was flashy and there were good bits, but like, did it go anywhere really by the end of it? Like,
I don't know why they didn't. We should have seen. I feel like we should have seen Luke and Boba meet again. You know, I that could have been the entire beginning of that episode, and we just scrapped everything where they're hiding out in that blown up building. Like, that didn't really serve much of a purpose. I don't know. There was a lot of weirdness with that episode. I felt like for finale didn't quite have the Mando episode 2 feel. And I wanted to end the Book of Boba being ecstatic that it happened and that I was excited. And instead I was just like, that was it.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we said too. Especially, I know we're skipping ahead, but the end credit scene, we were like, that was it.
Yeah, right. I feel like, and again, I'm going to go back to my friend John, who said Boba Fett he's ketchup. He's a condiment. He is not a hot dog. And Mando is a hot dog. Man, a hot dog is the star of its own shit. You know, it's on the plate. Maybe you got some baked beans. Maybe you got some potato chips, and then you have ketchup. But you know, Mando is a hot dog, and Boba is ketchup. Because he just
a hot dog?
What's that?
Is that like? Did you say baked beans with a hot dog?
I mean,
not like fries or something.
This is America, Jack, at like a barbecue. Okay, I know you guys don't have 4th of July there in Canada, but that's a very typical like 4th of July.
It made sense to us.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Thank you very much with this Canadian heathen over here for the love of God.
I don't know, like hot dogs and poutine. I don't know. Like, you could, that
to like piggyback out that, I think that maybe, and I do feel that they probably learned this with this last season, that they're just using Boba wrong. I feel like Boba is more of a John Wick kind of character who he needs to show up, kick a tremendous amount of ass, and then just that's it. That's all he does.
And walk away from an explosion like Wolverine again in that movie. Wolverine walking away from the exploding helicopter. Yeah, they did. You know, and again, you had a bunch of characters who called him soft. Oh, dude, you went soft. And he didn't just like throat punch him when they said that, or even Fennec. He was just like, nah, I'm not soft. I'm just blah, 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 this thing and that thing or whatever, you know, and it's just
getting too old for this shit.
Yeah, exactly. He just, you know, I'm tired of getting my, you know, nuts caught in a tractor over some guy's stupid shit or whatever. Yeah, it's just, it was ketchup. It was ketchup. Again, probably the most, you know, kind of pew-pews per minute, I would say, although, you know, again, Mando season 2 finale will take the cake. I just don't know how they could ever top it. Plenty of pew-pews in that one, but this was more explosion-y and more but again, you're right. It was kind of like, that was it. What else you got for me? You know, it was entertaining. And again, trying to remember that Star Wars is not Shakespeare. I wasn't looking for great depths or, you know, something, you know, that would absolutely blow my mind, because my mind was just so blown enough by seeing like, we got Luke Skywalker back in Mando and he's doing Jedi shit. And then he rescues, you know, little Greggy. Greggy is what I call Grogu, because the week that he got named, my wife and I were walking out of a Meijer, which is a super grocery store here in the Midwest. And I was talking about the episode and I said, what the hell did they name him? It was something with a G. I said, I'm just going to call him Greggy. He's Greggy. I like Greggy. So yeah, Grogu's
not a great name.
We have Greggy. We have a Greggy on a little stand by the front door that my wife got for Christmas a couple of years ago from my mother. And so, yes, Greggy is and he's the only thing that's allowed to be on that table. That is Greggy's table. And then my son found out how much my wife loved Greggy. So her office, because we both work from home, is covered with all this Grogu stuff that he got for her in the last couple of years. So there's a lot of Greggy going on here.
That's so funny. Yeah. I loved the seeing them reunite, though. Mm-hmm. That was like so that scene. We're like, oh my god, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen.
He force jumps into Greggy's dad's arms. Daddy.
Literally.
Oh my god.
That was it for me. Like there were so many moments because, you know, I have a 20-month-old son that's very similarly like excited to see me, and I'm excited to see him. The best part of my day is when I walk in the door and he runs over to me.
Oh, I remember.
Like jumps up. Like. And it was that exact, like I'm watching it and it's that kind of moment for me of like, oh, that's us. I'm watching myself in Star Wars right now. That is pretty cool. So watching this episode, I think I got caught up in a lot of that part of it where it meant something because it was kind of like seeing that like Star Warsian version of, you know, myself and my son or whatever. But at the same time, like after I watched it a second time, I was like, that was like a summer popcorn movie where, you know, that used to be good for like, I'll think superhero movies in general kind of thing, you know, like we've had some good and some bad superhero movies. And like, to me, The Mandalorian has been like the best of like the Captain America or Avengers movies when they're like just hitting on all cylinders.
Right. Yeah.
And this one was kind of like the Hulk or something where it's like
it was all Ed Norton.
That was fun. Like there's some explosions and some cool fight scenes and stuff, but like maybe the Hulk is better in an ensemble cast instead of leading his own thing.
Maybe the Hulk is he's your ranch dressing. That's what he is.
And like you guys said, like that was it, right? Like it was maybe Boba is better when he just comes in, kicks a ton of ass, and then the meat or the hot dog of the show, Charlie,
poutine,
you know, keeps taking over, or the poutine. That's it. It'll stick to your ribs. What did you guys think of the most controversial part of this episode? And of course, I'm talking about the super flare Power Ranger spin when the dude was holding up Black Chrysanthemum and does his the only way you could say like Desperado, that is straight from that. Like it is just a completely unnecessary spin. I defended it by saying that Scad, which is the gentleman's name, is the Wolverine of Tatooine. So Wolverine, as a comic fan, you bet your Wolverine dresses in bright yellow so he can draw the fire away from the younger X-Men students who might not be able to regenerate. And this guy, he's pulling off some sweet spins as a distraction to keep the fire away from Chrysanthemum and let them kind of get into position and prop themselves up and get ready to fire. And he's drawing the fire away with his sweet, sweet spins.
I paid absolutely zero attention to that. That wasn't even over my head. I think it was under my butt. That was just woo. There's nothing.
So what did you guys think of that?
I think your take is the most optimistic way to possibly ever look at it. I feel like those set of characters, I mean, I would be fine if I never saw him, no offense to the actor, or those bikes in Star Wars ever again. I think that the female lead of the bike gang looked badass. Like her costume design is incredible. I think she looks great. And with some character development, I might end up really liking her as a character, but the dude, I don't know.
The dude,
Skittle Squad just not doing it for you.
The Skittle Squad.
I'm kind of in agreement with him, but also disagree. I think if they do the characters right, they could be really cool. Like, I'm optimistic about what they could be, because I think they just look so badass.
Yeah.
As far as the spin goes, I honestly didn't think, like, so when it happened, I, like, in my head, I was like, oh, geez. Like, I think I said that.
Oh, jeez!
I didn't think it was going to become this huge thing, but, I mean, it is,
I
like...
couldn't believe how fast they had GIFs and movies.
Oh, my God.
Well, that was us. We were...
like, holy shit.
Yeah.
We were at Disney on Sunday, and we had about an hour to kill before the fireworks went off, and so we sat there making memes of that one clip.
We're trying to think of funny ideas.
Him spinning and shooting, and the Neos like going back.
We need to post that still.
There's one.
Yes, please.
I was going to say,
Wonder Woman dinging off her shield.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Wonder
right.
Woman.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah,
it was an OG's moment for me.
I feel like that's a lot of Robert Rodriguez. Like, you know, like he's done a lot of fun films for sure, but I just do not think he's the right fit for Star Wars personally, and I do think that Bryce Howard would be a much better fit to take over.
Oh yeah,
he's so
Boba,
good.
like the handling of Boba. Her episode was probably, aside from Dave's episode just being like the kind of content I like, her episode, as far as how it looked and how it flowed, everything about it for me was perfect. So more Bryce Howard, less Robert Rodriguez.
I can dig that.
I can agree with you.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, I love her stuff too. All right.
So to wrap it up, Charlie, what do you think of the Book of Boba Fett overall?
To be honest with you, it's much more of a library book. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was, I feel bad because I just never really feel that he's a starring character. You know, I feel like he's, not to get too metaphysical, he's kind of a guest star in his own life. You know what I mean? I did take a tip, and again, I bring up my friend John, who said, you know what, I watched it again with my son, his adult son, but we watched the whole thing at once, binging this deal, watching it from stem to stern. And I think April and I did that like from midday on a Friday and finish it on a Saturday morning, just so I could be prepared for this. That's the way to watch this deal, because a lot of the, it's just very disjointed to break up the flashbacks plus what's happening in present, whatever it is. So it is great to view it as one story. But again, Boba's a guest star in his own life, and it just did not make for what I think kind of the best is yet to come with the 3 shows that we know are being made right now. Plus Bad Batch Season 2, which I'm really hoping for more because, I was 50-50 on Bad Batch, Mark, and I talked about this. I just feel like in the pantheon of Star Wars productions we've had, and again, Jake, you and I were talking that neither of us really dug on Visions very much, but I know, Mark, you were a fan. This is definitely in the bottom quarter of Star Wars shows for me. It just really didn't rise to the heights I needed it to. So I'm gonna go, out of Whistling Birds. If I was to give it a ranking out of 10, this is probably a 5. It just did not blow me away. It's sitting squarely at 50% of 50%. It's like a D- for effort. I hate to say it, but do better for me, Star Wars. I am here for it. A lot, again, it's a love affair. Just like I was saying with Star Trek, I'm the same with Star Wars. I will always give Star Wars another chance. You can always, hurt me, but come back and hurt me some more. It's okay.
Yeah.
Jake Bella, what do you kind of echo Charlie's sentiments, or are you thinking a little bit differently?
Yeah. So like going on the like rewatching aspect of it, like I'll probably rewatch the whole series from start to finish, but like in the future, I think I'll probably only rewatch episode 5 and 6. Because those were the only episodes that I was excited about. And I also agree with the 5 out of 10. But for me, it's only a 5 because of those 2 episodes. Like, that's what got it from a 0 to a 5.
Which really makes it 2 out of 10. Or like 3.5 if you reduce that down even further. So, yeah, it's just... Yeah. That's a sad way to look at it, But again, when you position a show... to have a starring character because his name is in it. It's not like it's Star Wars, Wacky Times on Tatooine or something, and Boba Fett's a character. that's one thing. And then if he's a character and other characters can interplay, whatever it is, but being the book of Boba Fett and he just didn't really do anything and you didn't really feel like he was the star, that's a bummer. And that's what makes it a failure for me.
Yeah, and it would be better with a different title, just like the Book of Tatooine or something.
Yeah,
the Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett.
Yes,
yeah,
that's what we
that's
because it rolls right off the tongue. Right off the tongue. You bet.
Yeah.
Jake, what did you think? You kind of echo their sentiments?
Yeah, similar to my favorite episodes in any show we've gotten so far, live action show. Which in Boba riding the Rancor I can't complain about that. It was really cool, but it just felt a little flat, and I probably will watch episode 2 and then, was it
5 and 6?
5 and 6. I'll probably rewatch those episodes a lot more than I'll watch the rest of the show.
There were parts in the other episodes that we liked.
Yeah.
Like we did like seeing the Tuskens. Obviously, like the badass Tuskens was really cool to see.
Right.
But as far as just like everything else, it was just like we weren't interested.
Yeah, I do want to see more though. That's one thing that I don't want it to seem like. I don't want to see if they did a Book of Boba Fett 2. I would definitely love to see that.
Yeah.
I would love to see him and Fennec and Chrysanthemum on the road taking bounties and kicking ass. I would watch the hell out of that.
Yep.
So I want more Tamora Morrison in every way possible, and I love Fennec Shand, but the direction of I just hope they, and I'm assuming they will learn a lot from this season and do it differently in the future.
And it seems like they're going to take it in a different direction.
Yeah.
Based on what he said, what did he say? Like
that we're not meant for
we're
this.
not meant for this. Yeah. We're like,
Yeah.
okay, season 2 is going to be very different if they do it, obviously.
Right.
So a few episodes ago, I said, like, is this just like a dog chasing a car kind of thing? Like Boba saw this opportunity, was just like, yeah, screw it. I guess I'll go take over the crime syndicate in Tatooine. And it's like, but what's he going to do when he does that? And I wasn't sure at that point, like if he had an end goal or if there was a kind of path in mind. And by that line, like, I think I was right. Like he was just going. Doing whatever it was.
I have a musical reference, as I frequently do. This would be the Eagles, I think from their last album, After the Thrill Is Gone. What do you do when your dream comes true and it's not quite what you planned? Think about it. Think about it. Yep.
That's it. So Todd, our other shared co-host, mentioned in our Discord, would you wish that they would have had more flashbacks of other parts of Boba's life, like Cad Bane's relationship, rather than spend so much time with the Tuskens and then go off and meet Mando? Do you guys think this would have enhanced your viewing of the show, getting a little bit more of Boba's backstory in live action, or do you think it was just?
I mean, not really, because we've seen it all. We saw it in Clone Wars. It was pretty well documented, and it was not impactful of anything else that was going on. Where the Tusken part at least told you, okay, or ostensibly was to shape for you why he had this goal to be like, I was with the Tuskens and it changed me, and now I want to be a responsible criminal, which still you're kind of like, what? Okay. But yeah, if we had like, well, here's, it was stuff that we had already seen. So it wouldn't have been any new material. So I wouldn't have seen any point to be like, here he is in the train heist episode of the Clone Wars where he was with Bosk and all this different stuff. It's like, okay, who cares?
Yeah. You guys gotta agree.
Yeah.
I would have liked a couple of the flashbacks to be different for sure. And at first I was kind of surprised that we kept going back to the Tuskens. And after episode 2, I was really excited that we did, because I loved everything about that episode from start to finish. But I think a couple different backstories could have been good, maybe. But I think the problem with the show, aside from backstories, would have been to have a villain. Maybe if we had a backstory with an actual villain that was scary, and then that carried into modern day Boba. Yeah, that would have been a flashback I would have liked to see.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you think, little one? What do you think? No commentary.
Yeah, and that was like, there was no. I mean, we had like the Pike Syndicate, but they're kind of like faceless, armored fish people kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like
right.
There was no like, we had Cad Bane, but he showed up and then kind of like did his Cad Bane thing and then got stabbed through the chest, and it was just kind of like, well, yeah, cool, okay.
You're like, how compelling, thank you.
And I mean, like, it seemed like Filoni wanted that. He did with it. There were animatics of that from as far back as the Clone Wars that they never aired. So like, he's kind of wanted to kill off Cad Bane and have Boba kill off Cad Bane. And I did like that it was with the gaffy stick. That was cool.
Oh yeah,
but,
agreed.
Yeah, overall, I kind of agree with you guys. It was, you know, it was entertaining at times, but definitely it wasn't, I think, up to Mando standards. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
for sure.
And again, it's a very high bar, and let's hope that we're not having the same conversation as we watch Kenobi and Andor, and God forbid Ahsoka, that it's just like, well, you know, they had some moments and blah, 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 but it's not Mando. You know, let's hope, you're right. Let's hope that they turn up their game, and, you know, they don't turn, you know, Cassian Andor into poutine, you know, and they don't turn, you know, Ahsoka into, God forbid, potato salad. You know what I mean? We just don't want it to be happening like that.
Absolutely not. And worst case scenario, Bella, you got a pretty kick-ass hat out of all of this. So there you go.
I think the future of Star Wars,
Boba hat,
like overall, like we couldn't be in a better. Star Wars couldn't be in a better place. We couldn't be looking forward. Like the future is perfect for Star Wars. So I mean, I'm great that I'm here complaining about episodes of Book of Boba.
Right, exactly.
True.
It's nice to have something to complain about that's at least still entertaining. It's not like total shit. So it's good enough that we care to complain about some stuff. So that is a good place to be.
I care to care. Good stuff. Good deal.
Well, thank you guys for coming on. This was
thank you.
It was great.
Yeah, thank you so much. One last time before we go, remind people where they can find you on the internet and all the things you guys do.
For me, if you're interested in any sort of Star Wars content, cosplays, tattoo stuff, anything, it's Bella X Rose on everything.
And mine is Jake _ Scrivner, SCRIVNER, and check out some Star Wars tattoos.
Heck
Excellent.
yeah!
And you guys, because like I gotta.
Imperial Merch Co.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
rock on.
Yeah, Imperial Merch. We're all surrounded by Imperial Merch.
I think I have a shirt here that I wanted to show, but
you have about 50 shirts.
I know. We have a Boba shirt.
Perfect.
Even though he's technically not a bounty hunter, we got a Boba shirt.
All right, good deal.
So you guys are doing a little bit of everything. It's great. Like, there's just kind of something there, whether you're like cosplay, tattoos, stickers, shirts, merch, whatever it is. You guys kind of
Star Wars is basically our whole life.
Star Wars, right. And even like collectibles. We didn't even touch on collectibles. We'll have to have you.
Oh my god, that's a whole other thing.
Big time. And same here, right? Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I hear you. Cool. Good deal.
Well, thank you guys once again for coming on. This was fantastic, and there's always more Star Wars to talk about, so we'll have to have you back.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Good deal. And I did pipe over to our chat some of my cosplays. I'm sure not as good as yours, but I did I did the best I could. Yeah, I did.
Awesome to look at.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Well, cool. All right, friends, as always, thank you for joining us. I'm going to tell you, as always, that sharing is caring, and to keep on trucking.
May the force be with you. Rex, play us out. I'm just letting them go this time. I'm recording this. Usually I come off. I'm just gonna see how it works. You guys feel like you're back in Ogas? I bet you do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that Max survived.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network. Visit secretfriendsunite.com for more great shows, articles, news, reviews, and more. Secret Friends Unite podcasts are available on Apple, Google, Spotify, and other podcast services around the world. If you'd like to be part of the conversation, you can join us on Facebook or our new Discord server, or follow @SecretFriendsU on Twitter. Please subscribe to Secret Friends Unite on YouTube and visit our merch store at tpublic.com. Just search Secret Friends Unite. Thanks for listening.